WHAS 11 Weather First.
Kicking off the noon hour with some cloudy skies across the metro, and it does appear that if you're in southern Indiana, you might be experiencing some rain or some showers later this afternoon. Meteorologist Colleen Peterson is joining us now to track all that. Who might be getting it? Colleen, where's the timing of this?
Well, the thing is, the risk of seeing some storms decrease significantly, and it's only going to be one or two, so it's not going to be widespread. I think the rain that we've seen overnight is just starting to clear out into eastern Kentucky, and then we're watching that front pass through later today that could fire up an isolated storm. But I think our main focus is still going to be on this wind advisory that's in place. This is where we're gusting at right now, up to 40 miles per hour, 43 in Springfield, 38 right now here in Metro. So by the time we head towards 6 p.m., the wind advisory will expire. But from now until then, we're seeing wind gusts ranging from 30 to 40, maybe even get up to 45 at some points. So we're also looking at that very low risk of an isolated storm having that potential of producing maybe some hail or a strong wind gust out there. So it did decrease, no longer includes areas into southern Jefferson County. Northern Jefferson County still under that level 1 risk, but it's a very low risk, and it does include Newcastle over to Bedford. If you're south of Louisville, you're not seeing anything later today. In fact, that front not really looking strong at all as we're looking at it right now on that satellite radar. It's off to our west. That's going to continue to head our way. Looking at that radar right now, just some light showers out there. Campbellsville down to Columbia. That's going to continue to push off to the east. That's not heading our way here in the metro. So we're nice and dry, but once we head towards the afternoon, that front's going to approach, and that's where we could see maybe an isolated storm fire up. Doesn't look too impressive. Sometimes the forecast models have a bad idea of really starting to formulate some of these storms, but it's a low chance. I'll talk more about those impacts and about the week ahead coming up. Brooke?
Colleen, thank you. It is our top story here at noon. A devastating scene out of Baltimore today after a massive cargo ship crashed into a major bridge this morning. The Francis Scott Key Bridge came crashing down, sending vehicles plunging into the frigid water. Right now, a search and rescue effort is underway with at least 6 people unaccounted for. We do know at least 2 survivors were pulled from the water earlier this morning. And we have also learned Maryland's governor had talked about a Mayday call going out from that cargo ship moments before it hit. ABC's Christiane Cordero joins us from the site of that collapse.
In Baltimore today, crews are working against time and frigid temperatures after a collapse at the Francis Scott Key Bridge sent several vehicles into the water.
We advised the entire bridge, the entire Key Bridge in the harbor. I advised to hold all traffic from coming to the bridge.
Around 1:30 a.m., Maryland officials say a container ship lost propulsion as it was leaving Baltimore. The pilots warned the potential of a crash before hitting a column, which sent the bridge into the water. The Singapore-based company that owns the ship says its crew members are okay and accounted for, but several other people are not.
The Coast Guard's primary mission right now is search and rescue, looking for any survivors in the water.
Officials say construction workers were on the bridge when it collapsed.
The crew that was out there working was basically repairing potholes. Just so you understand, that had nothing to do with a structural issue.
It's unclear how many people or vehicles were traveling on it. Initial rescue efforts were complicated by the darkness. The water temperature at the time, 47 degrees. Hypothermia can set in after about an hour.
It's very cold waters. We're dealing with, obviously, the tide coming in. So this is very windy. So we understand that this is not a easy operation for them.
Authorities say there's no credible evidence of a terrorist attack. The NTSB has launched a GO team to investigate the collapse, and Baltimore's mayor has declared a local state of emergency. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Baltimore.
We'll keep you updated with the latest at 4, 5, and 6. Meanwhile, tonight, the JCPS Board of Education is expected to vote on transportation for this upcoming school year. For years, the district has struggled with busing, from delays to a shortage of drivers, and it's hoping changes or cuts will make a difference. So here are the options the board's been considering. Option 1 would cut all transportation for magnet and traditional school students. That's Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio's recommendation. Then option 2 would be to create a hub for bus pickup and drop off. Option 3 provides bus service only to schools that meet a threshold of economically disadvantaged students. And finally, the district could just keep things as they are. The board is expected to vote at 6 o'clock tonight. At the same time, we're sifting through the details of a special audit that was just revealed, highlighting what led to the transportation disaster on that first day of school for thousands of Louisville students. Our Alex Dieterer and photojournalist Addie Hill explain.
The first day of school tainted by a JCPS transportation meltdown. Now a 248-page audit breaks down the question on everyone's mind. What went so wrong?
There are a million things that led to the debacle that happened on the first day of school.
The report found that JCPS was not prepared when it tried to implement three things: a new school choice system, a new 9-bell system, and new bus routes designed by a company called Alpha Route. JCPS Board of Education member James Craig claims the problems we're watching unfold are caused by a shortage in bus drivers.
Going forward, we have to reduce the total number of riders that we have inside of the system.
Decisions will be made here at the Van Hoos Education Center as the JCPS Board of Education votes on how to transport students to school the following school year. Superintendent Marty Polio is recommending option 1, which would cut all transportation for magnet and traditional school students.
I anticipate that the superintendent's recommendation will likely pass.
A recommendation
that is unacceptable, especially in West Louisville.
That has gained vocal opposition from parents, the NAACP, and former councilwoman Mary Woolridge.
You know, that would deny children and parents the opportunity to have a high-quality education for African Americans and brown and poor people.
While JCPS calls this option the most equitable option with the least negative impact on students of color.
We simply do not have the human resources, though, available to us in order to ensure transportation for every single student who wants one.
In Louisville, Alex Dieterer, WHAS11 on your side.
In a statement, JCPS told us the district is no longer using Alpha Route. Instead, it hired 6 employees whose job it is to establish transportation routes for next school year. Tonight's board meeting is at 6. We'll be there and we'll be bringing you those updates on that vote as we get them in with the WHAS 11 News app and on WHAS11.com. Sticking with the district right now, JCPS is hosting a job fair looking for many positions, including transportation, maintenance, security, teachers, and substitutes. The fair is at the Norton Healthcare Sports and Learning Center off West Market Street, going until 2 this afternoon. Applicants are asked to bring their resume, ID, and email addresses for personal and professional references. People living in the Belknap and Upper Highlands neighborhoods are raising concerns about congestion and the parking along their streets. They're tying those issues to Atherton High School. Homeowners who we spoke to that live near Atherton say students are parking on both sides of their narrow streets because there's not enough parking in the student lot. They say it's causing safety issues for drivers and pedestrians who don't have access to sidewalks. The Upper Highlands Association recently called a special meeting with school officials to resolve this issue.
Tell the students they cannot block driveways. They have to be 4 feet on either side of the driveway. We had one car that was parked on the corner here yesterday and nobody could get around. So, you know, maybe we all need to get some yellow paint out and start painting where these cars can park.
District 8 Councilman Ben Reno Weber said a request has been made for the city to look into the cost of constructing sidewalks. He also said he plans to host a neighborhood meeting to find another solution. Well, changes could be on the way for elections in Louisville and the way police officers are disciplined. The Kentucky Senate passed House Bill 388, and among many things included, it would make Louisville's mayoral and metro council elections nonpartisan. The bill would also change the process for LMPD complaints, where officers who are accused of wrongdoing will be allowed to have a pre-disciplinary hearing.
Metro government was set up by state government. It was through a law that was passed to the General Assembly that was then advocated by then Mayor Jerry Abramson. So changes to that, when there is consensus brought, need to go through the General Assembly.
Announcements. The House now has to approve changes made to that bill before it can head to the governor's desk. And you'll soon have the opportunity to weigh in on that federal consent decree that'll shape reforms within metro government and LMPD. The U.S. Department of Justice scheduled 2 community meetings in April, one in person and one's virtual. The DOJ will share what consent decrees have done for other cities and what one can do for Louisville. Right now, the city's negotiating terms of its decree. The first meeting is Monday, April 8th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 at the Republic Bank Foundation YMCA on West Broadway. A virtual meeting will be held April 16th. The DOJ said it plans to have other events in different parts of the city in the coming months.